Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I would like to talk about PlayStation 5 Pro and whether or not it delivers on its promise. Better graphics, better performance, better ray tracing. Does it really deliver it all? Well, looks like that's not really the case, not fully. And I'm sure that some of you will probably find some games that really takes advantage of PlayStation 5 Pro's capabilities. There's probably a couple of games like that, especially at launch. There was a couple of games that really took advantage of PlayStation 5 Pro capabilities, and this is where the optimism came from at the very beginning, and even Digital Foundry were quite optimistic when it comes to PlayStation 5 Pro's capabilities and new technologies like PSSR and ray tracing capabilities and that kind of stuff, because they were given these well-polished and optimized games to test, right? And unfortunately, it looks like that's not really the case anymore. I mean, these good games are still good games, obviously, but Digital Foundry in the most recent video where they were discussing, PlayStation 5 Pro and whether their opinion has changed for the worse or for the better after 3 months. Well, looks like it actually changed for the worse, and they are actually criticizing PlayStation 5 Pro for its not necessarily lack of capabilities, because that's not really the case. I think the problem with PlayStation 5 Pro is lack of support or proper support. Maybe there's some problems with technologies as well, but I think the biggest problem, in my opinion, is that well, as always with technology, something has to give, right? And when you deliver much better graphics, then the performance suffers in many games. When there's better performance, the graphics is not really that much better than on PlayStation 5. And this is the biggest problem with PlayStation 5 Pro, in my opinion. And I said that at the very start, that the biggest problem is the lack of upgrade for the CPU, right? I mean, the GPU power, extra power, that's all great, but if you don't up your CPU performance or capabilities at the same time, well, this is going to be become a bottleneck, and that's what happened basically, right? Like, especially that even Digital Foundry in many videos did say that, because I'm no expert, I'm just saying what they say. Technologies like ray tracing or even PSSR actually requires quite a lot of CPU capabilities and power as well. So it's not only about GPU. Oh, ray tracing, that's only GPU heavy task. Well, it's a GPU heavy task for sure, but it also requires some extra capabilities, extra power from CPU. So when you have the same game optimized for PlayStation 5 and then you give it extra work and you have that extra GPU capability, but you don't have that extra capability on the CPU side of thing, but only GPU side of thing, then obviously the CPU will be bottlenecked and will not be able to cope with the whole system, right? And that's the issue. I think, I'm sure that there's some techniques that could allow for better use of resources and, taking some of these tasks off of CPU to allow for better performance. But still, this is still a big bottleneck. We're talking about a console that has much better memory bandwidth, more memory, much better GPU, and pretty much the same old Zen 2 CPU, which is fine for current gen consoles like like Xbox and Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, because they don't have these other extra capabilities. But for PlayStation 5 Pro, if you really want to use PSSR, then you need some extra CPU cycles too, and it shows. So obviously technical aspect of the whole story is just one thing, because obviously you know, people see that this console is expensive, and it shows. Like, you know, like this latest report that PlayStation 5 Pro sales reportedly start lagging behind PlayStation 4 Pro. So, you know, especially in, well, at least in US, but I would imagine the same goes for other parts of the world, especially that in US, PlayStation 5 Pro is cheaper than everywhere else. Like in Europe, we're talking about 800 euros, not $700. So not only euro is, I think, more expensive, euro to dollar, I think, or something, but it's actually, you know, 800 euros. So you can only imagine that, like, if you combine, you know, lack of technical advancements in games, really, like, you know, nothing really screams, oh wow, look at that game, if you know what I mean, except like 2 or 3 games here and there, and you combine it with, you know, pretty very high price and lack of optical drive, then, you know, you gotta ask yourself, is it really worth it? And I'm not necessarily trying to shit on PlayStation 5 Pro, because I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad console in general. I think just it needs more developers needs more time to optimize for the console. But the real question is, will they really do that when PlayStation 5 is the main console to go for, really? And you know, taking like really it's just like with Xbox Series S, right? You know, I see people complaining about Xbox Series S. It's not necessarily the fact that Xbox Series S is so weak that some developers cannot make their games work on that console. It's just lack of time for optimization, right? If you have Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 with very similar capabilities, and then you've got Xbox Series S that is way less powerful, and you need to spend time to make sure that the game works on it. You know, actually, sometimes it helps, you know, to optimize better for other consoles. That's kind of cool thing, but still, that's extra time spent on optimization, extra money, and same goes for PlayStation 5 Pro. There's going to be some developers that will spend some extra time to optimize for PlayStation 5 Pro, and there will be developers that they just won't do it because they won't have enough time or money budget to actually do it, and they will, you know, make some, you know, quick, lazy in quotes updates just for sake of optimization, just to make sure that, you know, they are being certified for PlayStation consoles. So I mean, that's just the reality of it, guys. I just, generally speaking, I think that, like, with so little technical advancement, these upgrades just don't make much sense right now. And there was a lot of talk about Xbox Series X making maybe there was hope, really, that maybe Xbox would release their upgraded console, but looks like that makes no sense. It's better to wait. It's actually better to shorten the generation and release a proper next-gen console, although next-gen, I say it in quotes too, because, like, yeah, these generations are going to be really, like, the line between last and this generation is, like, very thin as well. Like, we still see last generation consoles getting a lot of these games, so, you know, it's not like it's not like this generation of console is at full swing, really, but that effect will be even stronger next generation, right? Like, you know, developing games is expensive, especially these big games, and developers will want to make sure that they get return on their investment. It's not necessarily about, like, power graphics or whatever, right? But, like, it's all about, like, users. Where can we sell that damn games, so we get our money back and we actually even make some money on it, right? That's the real thing. So yeah, listen, PlayStation 5 Pro do disappoint. I'm afraid. Will it get better in the future? Probably yes. But still, I think that technical aspects can be improved, but they really need to do something about the price, because like, yeah, I don't think that for that price, it's actually worth buying a PlayStation 5 Pro when you get worse performance in a lot of games than games on PlayStation 5. Can you imagine? Yeah, graphics is great and that kind of stuff, but even graphics in some games is not really that much better, that much noticeable really. So anyway guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.